Hi everyone, welcome to Outdoor Bound TV. I'm Kurt Walbeck. Western do-it-yourself hunting. It's a financial reality for many of us hunters, but for others the thought of drawing a tag and scouring through maps, scouting game, arranging for your own food, accommodation and transportation, and then if you're lucky enough to harvest an animal, the butchering and pack out, well, that's just part of the fun. On this week's show, we get a chance to meet a hunter that is relatively new to Western style hunting, and DIY is how he and his friends have chosen to go. Let's meet Wisconsin's Tim Schneider right now.
I live outside of Fall Creek, Wisconsin. I've lived here for about 25 years, I guess, and fortunate enough to buy a nice piece of land here, raise our family here. I've been involved in the construction business in this area for, I've had my own business about 35 years now. So it's been, the construction business has been very good to me. I've been pretty thankful that things have gone the way they have in the construction business. It's been very good for us. I collect some old cars. I have a couple of old cars that I like messing with, and they're just kind of a pastime, and I'm not much of a sit-around kind of guy, so I'm always looking for something to do. I grew up by Stanley, which is 30 miles east of here, on a farm with, I have 11 brothers and 3 sisters, and our father passed away at a young age, and so growing up, we never really had a whole lot of opportunities to do much of any extracurricular things because we were on a farm, and my brothers and I pretty much had to take care of things on the farm. Then when I got married, my father-in-law was a fellow that liked to fish and liked to deer hunt locally, and so he started to invite me along, and it wasn't long that became a passion of mine. I like to fish. I really like to fish now, and then over time I got into hunting a bit too, and now that I'm getting up there in years and have a little more opportunity, I've gotten into doing a little more hunting, and yeah, the bug kind of got me, and I didn't grow up with any of that, but yeah, it's something I really like. A friend of mine going to go elk hunting in Montana, and he asked me if I'd be interested in going. And not growing up doing any of that stuff, I have had an interest in that for some time, of wanting to do something out in the mountains. And so when he asked me, of course I jumped at the idea, like, yeah, I'm interested. So we ended up applying that year for just a general tag out in Montana, just hunting public ground. And we were successful that year of drawing a tag. The first time we applied, we drew a tag to hunt out in Montana. We rolled into Montana probably around noon. The little town we ended up in was White Sulfur Springs. It's kind of a cool little town there. It's actually kind of a popular summer destination, we found out. It's got some kind of neat things to drive into town. I mean, there's mule deer in people's yards, and there's a pretty good trout stream or river running through there. But the area is really known for its natural hot sulfur springs there. People come there to soak in that hot sulfur water. That's a big attraction for that area. So we ended up in White Sulfur Springs, and then we went outside of White Sulfur Springs on a mountain range, and from there and hunted. Our plan was to do some scouting late in the afternoon because we got there the day before the season opened. We were going to do some scouting, and by the time we got our stuff unloaded, it kind of started to snow a little bit. So that cut our visibility. We couldn't see very far, so we kind of scrapped the idea of going to do any scouting. We couldn't scout anything really, any distance anyway. So we got all of our stuff ready and lined up for the morning, and hit the bed with big anticipation of getting out there in the morning with some fresh snow and hoping to find some tracks or some elk and see what happens.
Opening day elk season here in Montana. Got in yesterday, and forecast was for a bit of snow, and as you can see, we got up this morning and there's probably a foot or better of snow, and it's still snowing hard. So just out for a little ride to scope things out a little bit, see if we can make a plan to get in on a trail somewhere or something and go take a look for some elk. So right now we're just trying to form a plan to go kill some elk.
Survived the first day. The second day we get up, we're going to head back up. We get up in the morning, and it quit snowing. The sky was clear, but things didn't get much better. It was like 20 below zero in the morning, and it was miserable. But like I said, we decided we're out here to elk hunt. We're going elk hunting. We head back in there, and we actually, where we hunt, there's a little bit of a trail you got to go back in on. Marty and I kind of decided we're going to head off in one direction and through the deep snow, which was up over my knees for sure, and very tough going on the hill, up, trying to go up the mountain with snow up over your knees. And Vince decided he was going to go around and try to scout because it finally cleared out, and he wanted to go scout from the back side of the mountain a little bit. So he went to do that, and Marty and I went up to hunt. Well, I'm telling you, it was a struggle. We kind of got up through some timber and up on a meadow on top, just trying to see if we could find a track or see some elk or anything.
Here we are up on the mountain here in Montana. It's our third day out here, and the weather has been kind of brutal on us the first couple of days. We had 20 inches or so of snow the first day. Yesterday was a struggle with equipment because it was way below zero in the morning, and just had trouble with equipment most of the day and didn't get much accomplished. So weather kind of started to cooperate a little here today. Sun came out, the winds have kind of died down, temperatures have moderated, so we're out here trying to make something happen here this evening. Kind of hard to get around, but you got to do what you got to do some days. So hopefully we're going to run across a nice bull here this afternoon and get a chance to put some meat on the ground. So I'm going to keep moving along. We found a spot here with a little open meadow, and decided we'd climb up on the hillside here a little bit and lean back against a big old tree, pine tree here, and just going to watch this meadow till the end of the day here and see if any elk want to come out and feed along here. There's quite a bit of sign on the other side there where they've been coming out, so thought we'd sit out here this evening and hope they make a return back out here and give us an opportunity. So beautiful afternoon to sit out here. Temperatures have warmed, and it's actually a very nice afternoon, so hopefully something comes through.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Matthews Archery and Vortex Optics.
We drew a tag. Marty and Vince and I drew a tag with great anticipation. We make it out to Montana, snowy, icy roads. We get out there, the weather is horrible. We fight our way through that for a few days. Finally get to day 4, and the weather is kind of broke a little bit. Yeah, so by this point, you know, we haven't really seen anything much of at all for elk or anything. So we haven't even had a chance to even think about setting up and getting a shot or getting a move on something. We never had an opportunity to do any of that yet. There were no opportunities. It wasn't moving where we were at the time, and so we didn't have any chance to set up on anything.
All right, here we are up in the mountains again in Montana. Day number 4. I think we're a little insane. We decided to hike to the backside of the mountain today and see if we can catch some elk coming off that private property back there. So she's a workout getting back here through the deep snow, but temperatures are nice today at least, and looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Sun's starting to break the horizon, and it's just absolutely gorgeous up here in the mountains. So we're going to move on, and hopefully we're going to have to haul some out here soon.
You know, on the way out there, we see some mule deer. We start seeing some elk tracks and stuff in the snow. So our anticipation was kind of building that, yeah, there's some animals moving here, and you know, we spend some time here. We may get lucky and find something out here. So we head out there, we finally get to the point where we want to glass from, where my nephew Vince and I had been a couple years before that. And it's a big rock outcropping, and it's just solid rock. I mean, that's all it is solid rock. But you're up high, and you can see a long ways. There's timber down below, and you can see with all that snow, you could see if there was tracks or anything moving around. So it was a nice vantage point to be able to glass and observe a little bit. The drawback was, up on that rock cliff, the wind was howling about 50 miles an hour. So you had to peek over this rock cliff to try and see the terrain below, the timber below, to see if there's anything down there. But you couldn't look over the top of that thing for more than a few minutes, because the wind would make your eyes water and give you a headache. I mean, the cold blowing on your forehead would give you a headache. So you just could not stay up there very long. We kind of rotated, taking turns glassing, because one guy just could not stay up there in that weather. On the back side of it, we found a bunch of dead timber, of course, there, and so we built a fire back in the back side of that thing, and a little bit sheltered. It was kind of a little cove back there almost in the rocks, and we built a fire. And so what we'd do is we'd take turns. We'd sit there by the fire and warm up, and then every now and then we'd go out and we'd glass for a while. And actually it was kind of a cool little spot to spend better part of a day. We probably messed around there for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours between glassing and warming up by the fire and telling stories and laughing. And again, that's part of going with friends, is the experience of just the laughter and the camaraderie of going on the hunt. Yeah, just like, you know, fishing, hunting, a lot of things are, you know, you don't give up, right? It's perseverance. You stick with it. Conditions were tough, but I don't know. I guess I'm a guy that perseveres. I don't give up very easy, and I came out there to shoot an elk, and I was going to shoot an elk. So, whatever that takes. For some people, they're probably a little smarter than me. They don't maybe endure all those conditions, but I don't give up easy. And like I said, I make up my mind. I'm going to go get an elk. I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm not going home without trying. I'll say that. So the spot we found there is it's a saddle, and really behind us there's some pretty good timber. And then there's a big meadow out in front of me, and then out in front of that meadow there's a mountain again, and the mountain goes up, and there's a couple benches on the way up to the mountain. It's a fair-sized meadow. It just seems like they come down there to feed or to cross that area. I'm not sure what it is, but they definitely were using that area at that time with the snow on the ground. So I'm nestled under this limb of this big pine tree back behind it, leaning up against the hillside there, and I don't know, probably hour and a half before dark, 2 hours before dark, way up on the top bench on the other side, I see some movement up there. So I kind of start glassing that area. All of a sudden, like, oh yeah, there's 2 elk on that hillside, on that mountain over there. And they were kind of milling around, and pretty soon you could tell they were starting to come down, work their way down the mountain a little bit. There's a lot of snow up there, so when they moved, you know, if you're kind of looking, it wasn't that hard to see them sometimes. And I see them starting to move around up there. I'm like, wow, one of them is for sure a bull. I can tell that. I don't know what the other one is. There's 2 of them together there, and like, I know one's a bull. And so kind of was keeping an eye on them, waiting for them to try and hope they would come down to the meadow before it got pitch dark. Eventually, before it got dark, they came to the bottom, and but they're on the edge of the meadow, and they didn't come out right away. I'm like, come on, I'm running out of light here, let's go here. You know, it's this, we're into day 5 here, and Marty got an elk, but this is the first opportunity I've even had to even think I might be able to get a shot off here. Eventually, the one 5x5 bull started to move out into the meadow. And so he started to come out into the meadow, and he got out almost to the middle of the meadow, and he was just milling around eating there. But I was kind of looking for the other one to come out, because I was pretty sure that's the one I could see the horns on up on the top. There was a bigger bull in there. And so I waited, and again the same thing. It's a fight of like, do I take this one, or the sun's going down? If I wait too long here, I'm not going to get a shot. I'm almost out of light here, so what am I going to do here? Eventually, I decided I don't think that other bull's coming out. I don't know why, but he's not going to step out here. And so the first opportunity I've had, and so I waited until he got broadside, and when he got broadside out there, I think it was about 180 yards, and I let one fly. Oh, look at that. Is that cool or what? 5x5 bull. Wow, flipped him right over. Ah, what an awesome animal. Thank you, Lord. Man, that is so cool. That is so cool. It has been one awesome hunt again. It's cool to just come and do this with low budget for me too. Come and do it on your own. You don't have to pay a lot of money to do this, and for me it is it's way more fulfilling to come and do it on your own. You gotta go find them, you gotta go spot them, and you gotta make the shot all on your own. That's the coolest thing there is, I think. I know he's not the biggest buck or biggest bull, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's been awesome. It's just been a terrific hunt.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Rapala, and Mountain Dew.
You know, it's pretty ironic that someone may look at Tim's elk and say, oh, that's a pretty good bull. But when Tim looks at that mount, what he'll remember is the tough condition, the frozen fingers, the frozen feet, the windburned face, and the tired legs that are all part of a Western do-it-yourself hunt. I guess it's a pretty good reminder that the size of the trophy really doesn't tell the whole story. Tim, congratulations on a great bull and on a great hunt. And we hope that you'll join us again here next week when we'll bring you more great hunting and fishing action from around the U.S., around Canada, and around the world, right here on Outdoor Bound TV.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Mission Crossbows and HHA Sports.
Hook it up to the Polish camera and see how it works. Polish zoom on the Polish camera. I have a garden too. I like to mess pests around. Yeah, I can't read. Welcome to Outhouse Bound TV. I did it the way you told me to do it. Pull them up before you leave.